This week's episode of The Grid is sponsored by Impix. Shoot today, upload tonight, we ship tomorrow. Manfrotto. Imagine more. On One Software, software that gets you back to shooting. Adorama, more than a camera store. And Tiffin, helping create the world's greatest images.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to another live episode of The Grid. My name is Scott Kelby. I am joined by a very wonderful man.
More.
Pete Collins, right over here.
Oh, come on,
Oh, I'm sorry,
man.
Matt Kliskowski.
I was encouraging more, too.
Okay,
Wonderful.
Oh, yeah, wonderful, ambidextrous.
Amphibious.
Amphibious, yes.
Multi-breasted.
Multi-breasted.
Flatulent.
Flatulent.
I'm saying all things you've said before.
I would never say those things. Hey, welcome, everybody. Matt, thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks.
Good to have you back.
Letting me be here.
Well, it's your show.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, we have also joining us today, Frenchie, over there, the International Ambassador to Love. How you doing, French?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Loved you in Greece.
That was my favorite movie when I was little.
I know. That's still one of my favorite movies.
I love
Da-dum, 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 summer loving. Okay, sorry.
I'm not doing Olivia Newton-John's part. Let me just tell you.
you are.
It takes at least 2 drinks.
Okay, your line is summer loving happens so fast. Okay. Well, we've got a great show today. We're doing our live photo critiques. We did them last month. They were a big hit. We're going to do them again today. We have the work of 25 different photographers we're going to try to look at, so we're going to get right to stuff today. A couple quick things. We have some great giveaways for you today. We're giving away a full Photoshop World Conference Pass. It's coming up in, 10 days?
Yeah.
Got a full Photoshop World Conference Pass coming up. Giving away a copy of my book, the Digital Photography Book Volume 4, which is out now. And I just saw my first copy of my Crush the Composition DVD. Of all the classes, I was saying this earlier, of all the classes I've ever done online or in DVDs, I probably gotten more great response from that one class than maybe all the rest combined. So Crush the Composition, so we're going to give it away. If you don't win it, you can get it at kelbytraining.com.
Cool. Hey, can I jump in real quick
Please
with, I think, and we don't have a screen to be able to see this, but I think they have our NAP member website. I put a poll up on the NAP member website today about Lightroom, and I said, who was upgrading to Lightroom 4? And I put a couple of different answers there, and then I put an other. And just kind of wanted to tell people, so many of the other answers, there it is, you can see it right on the screen there. So many of the other answers came from people would write in and say, no, I'm waiting because I've heard of all the bugs in Lightroom 4. And so Adobe, and Tom Horgarty from Adobe he posted, because I guess we always call this like what's on the grid. That's how the name of our show came up. So this is kind of newsworthy. Tom did post something on his website about some problems or some issues
And
with
Tom
Lightroom
Horgarty, by the way, if you want to.
Sorry about that, yeah.
Tom is the Lightroom product manager for Adobe.
Yeah. So Tom posted on his website just a couple of issues that they had with Lightroom 4 and that they're working on them. But I got to tell you, I don't really have any of the issues that I saw on the list there. So I guess what I wanted to say to people is don't not upgrade because of something you heard with that. First of all, they are going to address everything on there, and you'll get a free update. But it is such a good update that for $79, I'd hate to see you miss out on upgrading now and say, I'm going to wait for a month or however long you're going to wait.
It's not going to bring down your machine kind of bug or anything like
I mean,
that. It's nothing like that.
I saw a couple of people had a couple of issues. I haven't had any. Have you?
No, zero.
No, so,
yeah.
All right.
All right. Hey, a couple things. First, also, and I want to get to as many critiques as we can today, but I do have to give a shout out to my buddy Marvin Dares. And so Marvin's a very dear friend of mine, and he started flying. He's a general aviation pilot, and he doesn't have his license yet, but he's very, very, very close. But he's been shooting out of the plane. He's been taking photographs out of the plane, and he joined the Professional Aerial Photographers Association. They have a contest every year in 4 different categories, and he just won first place with his picture, which I have on my screen here. If we can jump over to my screen, show Marvin's picture. Won first place in their scenic category. So
go
congratulations to Marv, who is a wonderful, wonderful guy. He's a physician out in California.
Do you think if I got on the plane with Marv, he would make me as motion sick as he does in the car?
No, Marvin may be quite a good pilot. He's just one of the worst drivers I've ever seen.
You've ever seen?
Oh my gosh, driving is not his skill.
You got to sit in front. I had to sit in back.
Brad wrote, "We almost died 3 times." That's not an exaggeration. He actually drove straight through a red light. Just drove right through it, just like.
I'm sitting in the back of the car and
screaming.
I got my eyes closed because I'm getting so motion sick. And Scott and Marv were up front and they're making fun of me like, oh yeah, the young guy, he's sleeping back, he's tired back there. And I didn't have the heart to tell him like, you're just making me really motion sick right now.
Yeah, it was bad. And driving in LA is already kind of scary anyway. Okay, real quick, my final tour date of my Light It, Shoot It, Retouch It tour. My last U.S. date was yesterday in Tampa, Florida. Had a wonderful time. My final tour will be in April 28th, so a little over a month from now. I already have over 200 photographers signed up, so we're gonna have a great turnout in the UK. So I hope that you will go and check it out at kelbytraining.com/live or whatever.
I've got and I'm taking the Lightroom 4 tour on the road, so I will be in Minneapolis. This is all at the end of April. In fact, I think it's the same week, but Minneapolis on Monday. I think it's Monday the 23rd. I'll be in LA that Thursday, which is like the 26th.
See if Marv will drive you around.
Marv will drive. I'll see Marv while I'm out there. And then I'll be in Chicago that following Monday, too. So 3 tour stops for the Lightroom 4 live
Absolutely.
tour.
You got to go see it. It's a blast. Hey, also, Photoshop World is coming up. You can get a free pass to the expo. So an expo-only pass for free. Go to photoshopworld.com and click on the expo link. And you can get a free pass. You can go and see all the... There's a ton of stuff. There it is right there. There is a ton of stuff on the expo floor.
Lots of training.
There are lots of training, lots of classes. There's all kinds of demos and giveaways and all kinds of fun stuff. So and lots of really good stuff on the show floor. Live shoots.
I know there's lots of training because I know I'm doing like 3 or 4 classes on the expo floor alone.
I'm doing just one. I'm going to do a retouching class at Wacom's booth, and that's all I'm doing.
Cool.
All right, so we're going to get right to the stuff here in just a moment. Let me just look away for a second.
Coming up next,
prizes.
Where we are.
Oh, look, the teleprompter move.
Prizes.
We see you touch this, and the
we
teleprompter moves.
Yeah.
So prizes. We have of course, a Photoshop World Pass. We have 2 copies of my book. We got the critique. We're going to be now. You do that later. We'll tell you when to sign in. It's at the end of the show. We'll tell you when to sign up for the goodies. Next, live blind photo critiques. We have some really interesting stuff to show you and talk about when we come back. Stick around. We'll be right back here on the grid. Don't go away.
Hi, I'm Joel Grimes. I'm a commercial advertising photographer. I've been doing this for over 35 years. I'm here at Kelby Training to teach you guys how I do my composites. I start in the studio, we take a subject, put her on a white sweep, shoot with my 3-edge gritty little lighting techniques. Then we go in the field, we shoot some HDR backgrounds, and putting it all together in Photoshop and making it one amazing killer image. If you're interested in this kind of compositing, come check out my classes.
All right, everybody, welcome back. I just want to say that this show is automatic. This show is hydromatic.
Systematic. Systematic.
Okay, anyway, welcome back. We're listening to Grease here on the break. Matt happened to have the entire soundtrack on his phone. So we were doing a hand job.
Not sure
as
if
well.
I really want to admit that, but.
Hey, real quick, don't forget to check out our sponsor, MPix. Go to mpix.com. They are an online photo lab. They are a wonderful photo lab. That's where we send our stuff. You upload your images by
11 o'clock
11
a.m.
o'clock in the morning. You'll have it the very next day if you live within a 5-mile radius of their lab. No, that's here in the United States. Anyway, they're just terrific. Go to mpix.com, check them out, and they make prints. They make framed prints, all kinds of good stuff.
I got chills.
They're multiplying. Hey, we're going to do our
control.
live blind photo critiques, but I want to give you guys just a heads up. We are not going to be broadcasting the grid for the next 2 weeks. We will be at Photoshop World next week, and even if we're not quite there yet, almost everybody from here will be gone,
And the equipment.
all our equipment will be gone. So we're not doing the grid this coming week, and we're not doing the grid the following week because all of our gear will not be back yet, and all of our staff will not be back yet. So for the next 2 weeks, it's a 2-week hiatus.
gridless?
It's a gridless thing. So you can go back. It's a great time to go back and watch older episodes that are now dated and meaningless. So
Photo critiques.
Photo critiques.
We have some kind of like.
A setup.
Yeah, we wanted to set this up because we did one of these shows a month ago.
Yeah, we're gonna. This is a regular feature now.
Yeah.
Once
We're
a
gonna
month.
bring it back once a month. We did one of these shows a month ago, and I think there were a lot of different comments. I think overall everybody loved it, but there were some comments that even that we kind of noticed as we were going through all the different photo critiques. So we got a couple of things to set it up with. First
is the main thing that people complained about was, so you showed us a lot of bad people's photos. Why don't you show us a lot of good people, or some good photos, and go, here's what they're doing right. Here's the problem. We're not getting a lot of good photos. Now, we do have some better ones. I specifically tried to make sure that we included the very best ones. But I looked at probably 100 different photographers.
There's a lot of them.
I looked at least 100. And I was able to pull 2 or 3 pretty good ones. None that are going to blow you away or anything, but I mean some that are like, hey, this guy's pretty good, you know. One woman stuff that's just, it's so good, it's weird. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So I will show you that, and you're going to go, well, yeah, but and I have a story because I read her whole story, and she's brilliant, really, but she's using photos, but she's not a photographer. Or I mean, you'll have to see. Well, you'll see when you get there. But anyway, there's just not a lot of what gets submitted. It is not really great work. So it makes it hard for us. Now I can go show you all kinds of other photographers that didn't submit their work and go, wow, let's go look at Dean Bradshaw, who's on my blog today, who wrote tremendous. You look at his stuff and you're like, I mean, that guy's good. You know what my critique would be? Don't do anything different. It's perfect. Yeah. You're brilliant.
Jay Patel on Google+.
Oh, yeah, I want to talk about Jay in just a minute here. Okay.
So what's the common problem we see?
There's a couple of common problems. The biggest problem overall is, and it pains me to say this, and please, I don't want you to think I'm saying this from any arrogant place when I say this, but it seems like a lot of people don't have any idea what makes a good photograph. I can't imagine, because if you're sending me 5 images today, right? This isn't like 5 images that you think suck. These are 5 of your favorite images. They're like, oh, I want to see.
You want to put them up against and see how they stack up against everything.
And it's like, I look at some of these shots and I'm like, I can't believe you sent that. I'm like, really? This is what you sent? And it's like, and so I can't understand, like, it would be like this. It would be like you've never looked at what another photographer's doing, so you have no idea what makes a good photo. I think this is a huge problem because I spend a ton of time looking at people's photos, like Dean Bradshaw's, right? And I look at them and I'm like, God, I'm so far away from there. I'm so, I'm constantly tremendously disappointed with my own work. And I think one of the reasons is because I do look at a lot of other people's work. Apparently, these people are not looking at anybody else's work because they would go, wow, theirs is great. I should shoot for that. And you just mentioned Jay Patel. So I just started following Jay Patel on Google+. When I looked at him, I even sent a note to my wife. I sent a note to my wife because she's on G+. And I said, Calibra, go circle this guy. If I wanted to be a landscape photographer, that was my thing, was I'm going to be, he would be the guy that I would emulate.
Oh, yeah.
But here's what I would tell you to do to emulate him. Go look at his photos and don't just go, wow, that guy's really great. I'll never be like him. Look at his photos and figure out why. What is it about his? Well, they're shot in great locations. They're shot in great light.
Sunset.
They're shot at
sunrise.
Dawn, and this is it. So this is there's a lot of, you're going to see a lot of landscape photos today. Some of them are very, very good. Some of them are absolutely horrendous because they didn't follow the very most simple, most basic rule of landscape photography. This is not some rule I created. You talk to any serious landscaper. It is the golden rule, and it's even called the golden rule, of landscape photography. You shoot twice a day, around dawn and around dusk. That's it. That's the very most basic rule. I don't care what, that is the absolute most basic thing. That's like, I don't know anything about landscape photography. Scott, can you give me a tip? Absolutely. Shoot at dawn or around shoot at dusk. That's it. If you don't do that, you can throw it in the garbage, all right? Do you know how few shots you're gonna see in here today that are landscapes? Like a bug flying around here.
Yeah. That were shot at dawn and dusk.
That came out of your armpit.
Oh my gosh.
That were shot. I mean, there's some, and I specifically chose them. Like, oh, thank God they shot it in good light. I think it's a general, overall, complete, a non-understanding of what good light is. So many of these shots are shot in horrendous light. It's like the quality of light is of no consequence to them whatsoever. And so you got to look at what's around you. You know what it would be like? By shooting like this with blinders on and not looking, it'd be like you coming out with a pair of jeans and say, look, I created these jeans. And I go, well, how do those compare with Levi's? And you go, I'm sorry? Levi's jeans.
Who's that?
How are you spelling that? Well, okay, Wrangler. I'm sorry? That's what they're doing. It's like, because they're thinking, hey, these are good shots. What do you think? And I'm like, these are good shots? So I can't tell you how frustrating it is. I really want to show you some amazing work today. I don't have any amazing work. I have some photographers that you can see are pretty good, but it's just like, well, I don't know if and I'm reaching out through Facebook and through Google Plus and through Twitter. And
no, it's not for lack of trying to get out there.
It's not for lack of trying. So,
but I think kind of to go along with what you're saying about that whole thing is people, I think so many people have this thing about landscape or just about photography in general. They want to create something specific to them. You know, nobody wants to go off and rip off somebody's photos. And what we're not saying is go look at Jay Patel's portfolio, which, by the way, I agree with you. I always like Jay Patel, Bill Fortney. I always think my landscape stuff is getting pretty good, and then I go look at either one of their work, and I'm like, forget it.
Absolutely.
But you go look at their stuff, and it's okay to copy what they're doing at this point. When you're learning, figure out what they're doing, go out there and repeat it. And then the more you do it, the more you're going to start putting your own spin onto those things. But it's okay in the beginning to start looking at other people's work. Go look at the places that they're shooting, look at the angles that they're shooting, look at all those different aspects of it. And I think it's okay to repeat that stuff.
Right. Hey, if you do nothing other than go to Jay's site, look at it and go, wow, he shoots at dawn and dusk, and you decide to shoot at dawn and dusk, I guarantee your stuff will get better. Hey, I want to start going through some of these. We're not going to spend a ton of time on each one, but I want to take you just through some. So anyway, let's go ahead and start up. All right, so here's our first shot. Here's two deer taken in your backyard. Bad light. You didn't do your white balance because the deers are blue. It's just messy, and
it could have been shot with an iPhone.
Shoot, your phone, anything.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like a phone shot.
It's not like I caught a deer in a dramatic pose.
Is that a cookie?
It's a cookie. Is it a delicious looking cookie? Okay, well, all cookies are delicious to some level, but all right, this one. Could use a levels adjustment. It could use, All right, so here's a shot of a guitar player. And it's not in good light. You really can't see him. You could say, well, he's trying to be dramatic. Here's the thing. And Brad, luckily, Brad Moore, who's helping us here on the set today, is a phenomenal professional concert photographer. And what Brad would say is, forget the light, forget the exposure, whatever. Brad would say, you know what it is? He did not capture a moment. You didn't capture this guitar player with a crazy look on their face or really getting into the music or some emotional thing where you're like, wow, I wish I was there. It's just a guy standing there playing a chord.
Hey,
Here's the same thing. Look at this. Here's a drummer outside. This is the best shot by far, but it's a drummer. Is he doing anything amazing? He looks like he's bored. It looks like, well,
there's no movement.
The song is getting ready to start. I'm gonna start now. They're just incredibly uninspired.
So real quick. So one of the things I think could make, let's take this shot as an example.
All right.
What could make it a better shot?
Wait.
Wait. Get the drummer in a good position. Get him with his hands up in the air. Get him with a good
exciting moment.
Yeah. Get him doing something. So part of it is you just got him. You just got him at a very dull moment.
Yeah,
Like Scott said, it looks like he's standing still. It's like, shooting a motorcycle that's flying by, but shooting it at such a fast shutter speed that it looks like it's still. You don't have any movement.
Same thing with a guitar shot. It's just a guy standing there in the dark. Now, but you know what's interesting is that you know what you need to do? You need to buy Alan Hess's concert photography book that just came up here on screen. Okay, but this is the same thing. It's the problem that you're going to look through all these. You know what you're not going to find? Exposure is not the problem. You're also going to find that equipment's not the problem. This shot was not about, I don't have good equipment. This shot was, it's not about, I don't know how to expose properly. Mm-hmm. And it's not just this person, whoever it is, it's all of these photographers. Everything's properly exposed pretty much. Something could use a level adjustment or whatever, but this isn't exposure, it's not sharpening, it's just, you didn't wait to capture a reasonable moment. You got it's just a bad
Real quick,
moment.
can you go back to the deer?
So, yeah, let's go back to the deer.
So I was going to say another one for this one. If you look at great wildlife photography, first of all, you got to have something that I think people don't see every day. And I think arguably at some point people are used to seeing deer.
Yeah, finding a deer where we are is like.
But the other thing is
no problem.
Is if you look at what wildlife photographers are using, they've got a long lens. There's distance between the subject and the background.
They're not up against an ugly-looking fence.
Yeah, I mean and they can't always pick the time of day, but usually that wildlife is doing something interesting, not just looking off of the screen and not really, you know what I mean? Yeah. So there's a couple elements that are there that are missing too.
All right, let's look at another one. Now this one I like. This is one of the ones I personally particularly liked, but I have a comment about it. So this guy now he watermarked his stuff so we can see his name is. I'm not going to say it out loud, but you can see his name on screen.
I like this photo.
I like this guy's stuff. I thought he had a style and a look to it. His stuff was very, very colorful. And so this is the first shot in this portfolio. I'm like, hey, this guy's good. I go to the next one. I'm like,
not bad.
I kind of like this. It's almost like his topic is color, which I think is a good topic. And I kind of like it. There's some messy stuff around the edges. I think I would have done a little border patrol here. If you look up here, there's a couple little messy things. So this is not adding to the photo. This stuff isn't adding to the photo. This stuff isn't adding. It's the edges, and we talked about that last time, how, the edges kind of are what kind of kill the photo.
Yeah.
So that stuff you could get rid of, clone out, or just make the whole, if you took the whole image and just cropped it in a little tighter, it would probably be a little stronger, but I still like it. The next photo, I really like this one.
I think I like this one even better than the last one.
Yeah, I think I like this one better than the last one, too. The couple of things that are hurting it are this flower is out of focus here. I would rather see more of that flower. And then this little stuff kind of creeping in over to the side. But overall, I kind of like this one. And then this one is kind of interesting. It's got good color. The objects all seem wet. It may have all been taken on the same day, but this is good stuff. But so I started going through, and this is a problem with a lot of people's portfolios. It falls apart at the end. And at the end, he had this shot. I mean, there's all kinds of junk floating in the water.
Well, they're just dead leaves.
It's just dead leaves. It just doesn't, like, it's like from a different photographer than took that. Like this guy, and then he loaned it to his friend, and his friend took this shot and said, is this like your stuff? And you're like, no. So here's the thing, just a real quick talk about portfolio. If you have 5 photos to show, well, 5 is a little bit, you have 20 photos to show. Number one, you got to start out strong. People don't wait to look at 6 or 7 of your photos to decide whether they think you're good or not. Your first photo better kick butt. Your second photo better be just as good. Your third photo, and then in the middle of your portfolio, if it dips down, it's okay. But at the end, it's got to have really strong stuff at the end, because at the end is when you're going to say the first thing out loud about that guy. Wow, he's good.
Yeah.
In this case, what I'd have to say is, yeah, he's got some good stuff. I mean, he had a couple things I liked, but then the further you go into his portfolio, because he had maybe 20 shots, it kept getting worse and worse and worse. It's like, man, I like this guy's style. Oh, not so much. Oh, he's out.
Yeah, and this shot almost, in some ways, discredits all the good ones.
Right, yeah. So, but that's why I particularly included that one, was to show you. Now, this is the woman I was talking about. So she wrote a thing about her stuff. I'm going to blow it up a little bigger. Well, I can't really blow it up any
It's
bigger.
just bridge, dude. You can't
All right,
do anything
it's
in
bridge. Yeah, we're at 100%. So I'm sorry, I thought we were in Lightroom. So anyway, she says everything in her things are photographic. She spends up to 160 hours per image making these composites. But what she says is, I want everything to be real. They look like illustrations. They're not illustrations. She goes, but so what I want to do is I want to take pictures. Like if I need a blimp or something, I've got to find a blimp. If I need a particular thing that I can, and I want to show you some of her shots. Her shots are amazing. I just wanted to show you this because this is way out of the realm of what any of us will be doing. But look at this stuff. But you know, she takes real pictures of churches, real domes, composites them together, and makes stuff like this. Look at this. You know, so she takes real objects and then composites them
That stuff is
together.
cool.
But you can tell she's done a lot of work. She's very, very good at Photoshop. Look at
I'm
this.
going to go to her website. Does she have any tutorials?
I don't know.
wanna
Yeah,
see.
she's very, very good. Very, very talented. So I don't have any critiques for her. She's doing stuff that's just really wow. But but she was one of the ones that she did ask for a critique, and my critique is wow. All right, let's move on. So this guy's okay. So look, he's got nice photos taken in nice light. All right, now, I mean, if I had to nitpick a little, I would rather see the sky there's not much going on in the sky. And so generally our rule is if the sky's interesting, you put your horizon line low. If the sky's not interesting, you put the horizon line. The horizon line's just above center. It's not terrible, but you know, this is certainly more interesting. I probably would have cleaned up some of the, let's clone out this little junk on the beach, but you know what it is? It's not a fascinating shot. It's not like, ooh, a pier, but it's nicely composited, you know, it's good. And then look at the next shot. This is very pretty. They waited to the right time. They have still water, beautiful sky. It's taken in soft, you can see the sun's either coming up or coming down, and it's taken in nice light. And you know what? It makes a nice shot. Look at this one. Now, this one's later in the day, and this is the least one. There's two things going wrong. Well, overall, the shot's a little busy, right? And it looks like it was maybe even taken on a golf course. It's a little busy, and somebody mentioned this, and I don't have the quote, but it was about trees sticking into your image. Somebody ever said, you're never going to see a big landscape shot, like a big on the calendar. You're not going to see a David Munch shot or a Bill Fortney shot or whatever with a tree coming in from the side. It's a scene killer. This kind of has the scene killer in it.
And so I think there's a lesson learned there, because I think if used correctly, you can have a foreground element of that. You see that, you know, part of a tree that kind of hangs in, or part of a palm tree, and it frames the photo. So if we're talking landscapes here,
this isn't really framing.
No, that's see, so that's the framing aspect gone bad. That's you know, half of the photos of a tree sticking into it. But sometimes you will see, and sometimes it does. It kind of helps bring people in, makes them feel like they're actually standing there looking at it. But that's too much.
All right, one more.
That's kind of neat.
This is actually kind of neat. So, and it's a good processing. It's a different perspective. They shot it with a nice wide angle. So overall, this not too bad. Not one of the better ones, believe it or not. You're going to see today. This is certainly one of the better. I don't mean that in a bad way, but yeah.
Can you go back to the beach one real quick? So what I was going to say about this one is, there's kind of two tips for landscapes too. I think one of them is, remember you're shooting. Scott and I were talking about this earlier. You're shooting at sunrise or sunset because you get the nice light. And I was at a workshop one time, and I saw somebody off shooting at a rock that was off in the distance that was totally in the shade. And so we were talking about it, and I said, well, why are you shooting that? He's like, I don't know. I said, because you're here at sunrise.
Right, you came for beautiful
We got
light.
up at 5 a.m. for beautiful light, and you're shooting at something in the shade. So what you want to look for is the sun hitting something that looks really nice at sunrise or sunset, because that's when you get the pretty light. Or if you're going to shoot at the sun, you want to put the sun in a neat place.
Right.
You know, you want there to be something, which is what I think he did here. I think
Yeah.
that's a neat use of what he did. So.
Yeah, and it looks like he probably shot this at f/22, which that's why you're seeing kind of the little starburst coming out of the sun, because they shot it at the right, f-stop for that.
Yeah.
Hey, BP photographer wrote a comment in here. I think we need to remember how it was when we got started. You just don't know what you don't know. As one's skills increase, so does our perception, and that makes us push the skills then more perception. Then you get more perception. Don't try to be great or even good, just be better than you were before. Great advice. I think one thing that will increase your skill is determined to take an honest look at your work and go, okay, what's wrong with it here? What is it that I'm not doing? What is it that, let's see, Sean King says, my problem has always been selecting the best possible photo to keep and what to leave out. That's always tough, and that's why I generally will look to somebody else.
You have to.
Like I have a certain number of images I have multiple portfolios, but if I have my football portfolio, when I want to take one out, I'll ask the guys, I'll go to Matt and go, all right, I got to take a photo out of here. Which one goes? And it's surprisingly that 2 or 3 people all go, it's that one. I'm like, really? Okay,
Yeah.
So, all right. So
and it's hard to do.
It's very
but
hard
you have to do it.
because you're attached to it. Like, oh man, I love that game. All right, so here's another one. All right, so this is technically not a bad shot.
Looks like it was even shot at the right time of day.
The light doesn't look really bad, except for and this is another theme you're going to find throughout these. It's not a fascinating topic. It's a dead tree and a broken down truck. And I don't mean to sound like a dead tree, but there's nothing that makes you go, wow, that's fascinating. So the next shot.
It's a tunnel.
It's a tunnel. Is it a beautiful tunnel? Is it a fascinating tunnel?
Nope.
Is it captured in a way you've never seen a tunnel before? So it's just an average tunnel. It's an average shot because of that exact reason. This is the best one that he had, and it's because it looks like it's infrared. But what's the subject? You can't just say a group of people. I don't know where to look first.
Yeah.
So what would be different if you took away the infrared? What would make this an interesting shot? This is the shot that anyone standing in that spot would get with their cell phone. Only thing that saves it is that it's infrared. It's an infrared, taken with an infrared.
And even
camera.
that's a very, only photographers know that. Most people walk up and say, why are the trees white?
Yeah, why are the trees white? All right. It's what would be a.
Is it crooked?
Well, there's something going on there, but is that the Bellevue Biltmore? I don't know. But anyway, there's an interesting building hidden behind a bunch of ugly trees. Taken in, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So it's bad light. And so I would ask the photographer, what's your subject here? Ugly tree?
Yeah.
Is it ugly tree? Because if it's that house, you've put enough things in front of it that I can't even see the house.
No.
So it's just kind of a, okay, and here's a hallway. You know what this makes? A great background.
A great compositing background.
Great compositing background, but there's nothing inside of it that makes you go, wow, that's great. It's and we're back to this. So not wonderful, unfortunately. Let's take a look. This guy's pretty good. So good light, using off-camera flash as well. I kind of like the background, but it's just kind of a good shot. There's a composition issue that I can fix real quick. Let's see if I can actually open it in Camera Raw. I have to wait for the spinning beach ball, as always.
Dude, it's Bridge. Come on.
Come on, Bridge is awesome. There's just a lot of headroom in this photo. So what would make it better I think would be less headroom. So.
And then maybe darken right down.
Yeah. So you let the flash get bright down here for no apparent reason. So you're not trying to light the floor. He's the subject, but my eye's drawn down here. So you would go in here, and you have to think about these things. Darken this area over here, right? Because that's not, and then this is a very poor darkening job. But you shouldn't see a bright spot on the floor. Your eye's drawn to the brightest thing in the photo. The brightest thing in the photo is in front of his feet. It should be her. It should be his face. It should not be the floor over there. That was a really bad, fix, but you get the idea. Here,
Probably even take the graduated filter and just drag it up from the bottom.
Yeah, that actually sounds better. Let's do that. Let's take the graduated filter. Let me click on this and delete it. We'll take the graduated filter. We'll set the brightness down just a little bit. And kind of, it doesn't help enough.
You'd have to paint.
Yeah, you'd have to paint. But anyway, that's what's wrong with that one. But still, not a bad photo. This one's kind of interesting. This isn't really helping anything back there. I like the guy, but that's not adding to the shot back there. I would probably just darken
so
that
you know
and
what I
crop
say
it.
about this whole one is that the background isn't. You can't see enough of the background to make it cool.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like you could almost have it just black. Because I mean, if you could see more of it, because he looks like he's in a very urban kind of grungy place,
Yeah.
and the way he's dressed, but you just can't really see it.
No. Makes a nice piano.
Yeah.
Okay. But still, I like this guy. Okay, so I really like what's going on here. I really like what's going on here. I really like what's going on here. What's going on back there
Nope.
is killing this photo. I would rather blow that out to white, like literally go into Camera Raw.
Yep.
Maybe make you'd have to go through and make an object and blow that. Let me see if it's blow outable. Probably. Let me just blow those windows out and fill those windows in, and then
Yeah.
so that way you just see like it's really bright outside, and you'd have to do two versions of this photo.
What it's done is it's taken away the professionalism of the
Yeah,
photo.
because the rest is nice. She's
Yeah.
well lit with the light, though. You got to get rid of this, right?
Yeah.
And then, but this outdoors is just look. It's junky cars across the street. This stuff all matters. People don't pay enough attention to backgrounds. Now, see, look, this is blown out light. It looks okay. Blown out, it looks great. I like the beams coming in. I like the old guy. It's cropped a little too close to him.
Yeah.
It needs a little more air. And I love the Mr. Coffee machine. This is just kind of an interesting photo, and I think the processing's pretty good. This one's another one that I would, later in the day, it would get better. The lighting would get better, but there's nice processing, not a bad shot. And we got steampunk going on here. Not a bad shot. It looks like it might be a composite, but I'm not sure. But, the colors are fairly consistent. So anyway, not bad. She's smoking and has a gas mask on both, which is kind of cute. So
lighting, overall lighting was good.
yeah, overall lighting's pretty good. Yeah. So, I
Yeah.
mean, actually, not bad. All right, so this one is just all over the place. So this one's it's, I don't know what this is. All right, so this is a fairly pretty waterfall. However, do you know any photographer that doesn't have a pretty waterfall shot? Everybody's got a pretty waterfall shot. Like, it's kind of like once you know what to set your camera for a long exposure,
The waterfall
shot becomes pretty routine. But it's not bad. It's not a bad shot. People like it. Photographers, from a photography standpoint, photographers aren't going to go, "Oh, dude, you nailed that." But the average person would go, "Oh, isn't that beautiful?" So that's not bad.
And I think a lot of the average person would say that about that photo. The one thing that kills me, and I'm not saying it's a 2-second fix, but the one thing that kills me is that rock up front.
This one right here.
It's gotta go. You
bad.
got it. Yeah. I mean, it might take a few minutes to get it out, and
You know what's just as distracting to me?
that's
Up here in the corner. Border Patrol. All right. Next. So now, let me say this. This is a beautiful church. They got down low. They did so many things right, but it's crooked.
It got off center.
It's off center, which that doesn't bother me as much because that can be composite.
Yeah.
But it's crooked. It's just crooked. And crooked photos drive people crazy. Now, you could say, this line here is straight. Who cares? The whole
Yeah.
church is leaning to the left. It's a little over-processed. So what would have made this wonderful, I think, go back to the original photograph. So this is probably a 5 or 7 image HDR, right? Go back to one of the original photographs, drag it on top, use auto-align layers so it's perfectly aligned, and bring back some of the original color of just the pews. And you wouldn't go, "Oh, it's an over-the-top HDR shot," because the pews would look real.
Yeah.
But I kind of like this. I mean, I love the blue in the ceiling.
So can I say what I would do to this in post?
Yeah,
if
absolutely.
If it were my shot. And so I know some people won't. So this goes against like photography ethics. But right over here,
Yeah.
you can see that the sun's really. So the sun must have been right around this area. I'd get one of those like those plugins, those Starburst plugins of some, and I'd put a little flare there and a not obnoxious, just something. I think that would kind
add
of
some visual interest.
Yeah,
wouldn't it?
definitely.
And then it falls apart. So you know what? It's it's the bottom of a concrete pier with some graffiti on it. This is beautiful.
That's not.
It's not.
There's no killer light. I mean, there's not a thing
It's just-
really.
Yeah, you were under the pier and you took a shot. It's a car in bad light. It's a car in bad light.
The background, yeah.
Yeah. This is unfortunately the worst of the series. Now, there's something this photographer's doing that I do like. He's getting nice low perspectives. That's good. But really, what is the fascinating thing that's happening in this shot? Terrible sky. It's kind of empty. But sometimes empty seat screens look good, but this one doesn't. I guess there's somebody way down there doing something.
Looks like they're where they can. It might be a photo walk or something.
Might be a photo walk or something. But there's really nothing fascinating. And you got to think about it, right? So I'm looking at this, right? I'm looking at this, and I'm going, you want me to go, oh, wow, cool shot. But why would I do that? You know, there's nothing about it. And that's what you should be looking for is, wow, cool shot. You know, and it's just, unfortunately, it's not. And this one's just, yeah. Okay. So let's go on. All right, look at this. This is the same situation. So here you got a guy who has a beautiful shot. Why is it beautiful?
The light.
The light.
The subject.
The subject and nice perspective down low. So this is not bad. You know, it's an air show, obviously, right?
I'd crop in a little tighter.
Yeah. This is later in the afternoon.
Getting the bad light, but still not. I mean,
yeah, but it's
Yeah.
bad. It's bad light. Look at the harsh shadows, stuff. But good post processing. So this could have been an HDR or something, but the cloud's starting to get a little, you know, halos and stuff. And this one's kind of not bad. The light's not really good. So what would make this better? Getting the wing tip in, and better light.
Better light.
Better light.
Because he turned it to black and white probably because the light wasn't very good.
So all these are taken.
The last one's kind of cool. I kind of like that one.
Cool. No, I like I like the composition. That
Yeah.
is
So
way over
let's
the
talk
left.
about why we like this one.
Okay.
Composition.
Composition. Good light. Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, the plane's sideways or upside down, whatever.
He's got motion in the propeller.
Yep.
Right. So there's a lot of good things. It's not in the center of the picture. It's in decent light. It's flying sideways. It's interesting.
And the plane has. This is a big thing. The plane has some place to go in the photo.
Right. It's not right up against the edge or something.
Yeah.
So I think it's good. I think this is this one and this one are the best ones. Of course, you could say this is a still light. You know what kills this picture? People standing over here.
Yeah.
You know, so there's a way to get rid of that. If only there was a program.
That wasn't bridge.
That wasn't bridge. All right. Seriously, somebody sent this. Here's some of my best shots, Scott. What do you think? Cat shot, seriously?
And that looks like on-camera flash.
Yeah. Cat shot? No, really. Cat shot. All right. Go ahead.
Can we talk about this?
Yes.
Because I think there's a lot of people that go out to a car show and do exactly this. And their photos
Look like this.
look just like this. And I don't think they understand why it's not a good photo. So one of the things, car shows, chances are they usually don't let people in at sunrise or sunset. Usually the car show goes from 10 until 6 or 10 until 4 or something like that. So you're not really there in a time to get this car in a good light. So I think that's a big one right there. Is you're just going to these things, unless you have an in where you can get there early or late, it's going to be hard to get a shot. A lot of times the cars aren't even there during those times. What else?
Well, first,
The background, yeah.
this is such a huge thing. They're not paying attention to the background. Look at that. You got a guy back here eating. What's that doing for your photo? These people are kind of sitting back here talking. All these things are killing your photo. This guy, look at this. This shadow, this gap in the shadow. It's like, you know what this looks like? If I handed my daughter a camera and said, honey, go take a picture of that car.
Go walk around the car show, take
Go
a
walk
picture.
around. That's what you would get.
Yeah.
It's not shot from a low perspective. It needs to be so if you can't get rid of this guy, or you're not patient enough to wait till he walks away, or you're not willing to move to zoom in. Zoom in. You're already shooting it in the worst possible light of the day. Do something to help you out.
And that's if you go to these car shows, you go to these plane shows, you go to all these different places. If you're going to do that, you got to be prepared to work at it.
Yeah.
That's not working at it. So.
Yeah. Here's another one that's not working at it. Let's go shoot a not a very pretty flower
In bad light.
In really bad light. I put this one in there. You had a number of shots. I put this one because this one isn't bad.
Out of focus in the background. I mean, that's pretty.
It's not bad. Here's a sports shot it is very bad. So here's why. A tremendous lack of depth of field. Mm-hmm. Right? The player blends right in with the people behind it. This guy look at it. It's almost like he's grabbing his crotch. It's like, if you wanted to save this photo, one thing you could do is crop it closer. Mm-hmm. It's not going to help the light or but at least don't show me crotch guy. At least do this, right? And then look at you need to add some fill light, a little bit of clarity. Do something to make it kind of interesting. And it's still not, just a couple of adjustments there really helped. But it's just, there's not enough. In sports photography, you usually look for separation. I need to separate the player from the background. It's very little separation.
And that's why the lenses cost $6,000.
Yeah, the lenses are expensive to get. Well, you can get an f2.8 that would give you better separation than that. You got to shoot at wide open aperture, and that's not it. Okay. Nothing you can do about a cat shot. All right, this guy's not bad.
Good light.
Okay, good light. It is William Beam wrote, they should have used HDR on the cat. All right, so look at this one. This one's kind of an interesting guy. They actually set up some lights. He's got a gun. I kind of like this one. This would be a great shot if the eye was in focus. Unfortunately, what's in focus is just past the eye.
Yep.
Blurry eye kills every landscape shot. Wonderful subject. Wildlife shot. Wonderful subject and kind of a soft eye. You could probably sharpen it up in Photoshop. You could probably literally, I'm just going to go grab the clarity and sharpness and see if we can fake it. Dude, look at that.
Yeah.
Let's do it again. Let's add new and add the same thing. Well, lower the brightness here. Hold on. All right, that's the clarity and sharpness. Look at that. And the eye is sharp. You would never have known. Let's hide the pins.
Yeah.
All right, from where we started, where did we start? Well, right here.
Yeah.
Look at that. If your eye's not sharp, the rest goes in the trash.
Hey,
okay.
Ad guy,
this is the
ad
best
guy
one.
30. Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead, read it.
Ad guy 31 says, "Yay! I got a not bad. I like this from Scott Kelly. Moving on up. Thank you so much for the feedback. I was nervous, but your input and feedback let me know I'm on the right track. I wonder which one is his.
I don't know, but
If
I'm
you're
glad.
right back, I'm just curious to know which ones were his. But
All right, I like this one. I think it's kind of good composition. It's kind of interesting. You know what I like about this one? This one tells a story. Who's he calling? Is he a thief? He's got this little, kind of thiefy hat on. I kind of like this one. It tells a story. This is just a freaking building. You didn't get the whole building in it, cropped off the top.
Halos.
You got halos around the outside. There's nothing great about this building, nothing exciting about the shot. It's just kind of, and this is, at the end of the day, a train coming down the track. And it's not an old classic train. It's just kind of, that one's relying all on the post-processing. Next. Nice.
Like it.
Nice light. Sun at the end of the day. You could say that it annoys people when you have a horizon line that is not straight. It really does. It messes people up. But I think it's okay.
and if I could say one thing to make it a little better, I would have shot it at like f22, f16. I would have gotten that sun.
Yeah.
Kind of stop down and poking through. And you might have to do some post-processing to bring out the shadows.
Yeah.
But still very cool.
So this one is not bad. It's a long exposure, but you have blue water and very, very brown rocks. Just the overall color is not good. Let's open it up here. What if we made it a little warmer like that? That gets rid of the blue water. Throw a vignette on it. Good call. Darken the edges. It takes your focus away from the edges. You could probably use a little clarity. Oh, yeah. And I think that, and maybe I'll bring up the exposure a little bit. So somewhat better looking with just a little bit of tweaking. But not a bad shot, not a bad shot. Okay, this one, it really needs a levels adjustment badly. So maybe this person just needs to learn Photoshop. Because even if you just hit auto, it looks better.
Look at that.
Yeah, because look at what auto does for this. Now just go in and brighten him up with the adjustment brush. Just go in here with the, go to brightness. Very small brush, way smaller than that. And just brighten up yay guy. So that looks pretty good. I'm the guy who had the guy and the girl in the desert. Oh, yeah,
Okay,
yeah. Hey,
yeah.
good job. I like your light. Your light, his light's
Yeah.
good. You're doing good. All right. So look at the difference here. Well, we don't need that one. We want
Yeah,
to go
the
back to
adjustment, yeah.
here. Yeah.
Yep.
Could use a little Photoshop. All right. Middle of the day, not pretty, and railroad tracks. You know, there's certain topics like you're never supposed to shoot as a photographer. A, cat. B, I'm not kidding, railroad tracks. C, don't shoot homeless people. Number 4, don't shoot railroad tracks. Railroad tracks, stumps.
Oh, dead
stumps.
trees, just dead trees in
Don't
general.
shoot dead trees. Just don't shoot them. I know that one time in a calendar, one day, you saw an amazing, great dead tree. You're not getting that shot. You're not going to shoot that great, amazing dead tree. You're going to shoot the dead tree that we see again and again at every workshop we've ever taught. Don't shoot that.
No dead trees.
All right, and anything else?
Oh, that's
This
nice.
one's nice. Nice. You can see through the water, probably used a polarizer, which is why you can see through the water. Polarizing filters, people think of them for the sky. What they do is cut reflection. That's why you can see through the water. Probably use a polarizer.
I'd probably darken up.
Oops, sorry.
I was just going to say I would darken up. Put your cursor up.
Right, darken up this
I do
area
something
up
to
here.
darken that up,
Yeah,
but-
darken that up right there. Let's get the adjustment brush.
Probably do it with a vignette, maybe.
Even a vignette. Ooh, I need a bigger brush there. And just darken this up here. You don't really want to see that. Oh, a vignette might do it, but we got to bring that way down. Yeah, just bring that way down up there. We don't need to see that garbage up there. Look, it's drawing your eye where you don't want it to go. Okay. So overall, they're on the right track, I think. They're on the right track. All right. I love this. This is one of my favorite guys in here. You know why? Because he has a theme and a look and he sticks with it. All right, an interesting shot in an interesting place. Look at all the star brights on the lights. Look, next, fireworks going off, a ship, there's lots of smoke, there's lots of atmosphere. The next shot, look at the sky,
The
look
moon.
at the moon, look at the lighting. The next shot, look
Oh,
at
wow,
this.
yeah.
I mean, this guy, it's color, it's interesting. It's his view of these places. It's not just I was there and I pressed my camera, you know. And even if he added the pink later in I don't care. I like this guy's stuff. Look at this.
Yep.
And I'm the last guy to like this stuff, but I like this one. It's interesting, cool stuff. I really like this one. Just kind of I thought was cool.
Somebody says Jerry Gionis in the background shooting the ship.
All right, we got a few more here. Wait, was that number 13 we were on? I think it was, right?
Yeah.
All right, we'll get through as many as we can here. Oh, we want us to take a break? We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to go through the rest of these, even if it's really, really quick. So stick around. Don't go away. Right here, we're doing live blind photo critiques because obviously we're blind. See you guys in a few minutes right here on the grid. Don't go away.
My name is Douglas Saunders. I'm a commercial advertising photographer. I may be Washington, D.C. based, but I take my assignments all over the world. We have a product, it's an iPad case, and I'll be showing you how to put together an entire ad shoot from pre-production to actual photo shoot to my post-production retouching process. You're going to learn about coming up with a creative concept, dealing with your clients, lighting on location, actually handling a photo shoot day with the multiple members of your crew and client on set, the retouching process. What do retouchers look for when you're delivering all the content they need to composite an image together in the end? You're going to see everything. Everything's going to be thrown up in the air and we're going to put it all together piece by piece. If you're at all familiar with the type of work I do, come over to kelbytrain.com. Check out my video and see how I put an entire shoot together.
Hey, we're back. Scott here with Matt. We're doing live photo critiques. A lot of people asking in the chat today about the woman's name who does those amazing things. I don't have it in front of me. If you go to my Google Plus page, she's like one of the very first people that posted when I said we're doing critiques. And so I don't think her name's in it. There's no... Oh, there it is.
Yeah, it was
Tanya Rochat.
Yeah, it's on the bottom of
Tanya,
her
and her last name is spelled R-O-C-H-A-T. Really quite amazing stuff. All right, this next one is one of my favorites from the whole day. I think all of his shots look good. First one is right here. I like the sharpness and composition. Interesting subject, well lit. I like that there's a little backlight here. I like, it's a pretty good shot all the way around. Absolutely love this shot. Love this shot.
Why?
Look at, well, first, the composition is terrific. You have the horizon line down here. You have beautiful light. Shot when? Probably dusk.
Sunrise, yeah,
or
sunrise.
But this color looks more, but
Yeah.
either way, you have action and movement. You've got, it's just pretty, and the way they composed it, because what was more interesting here, the water, more of this water isn't interesting, but this layers.
Yep.
You have a layer here, and then a lighter layer there, and a lighter layer there. I just think this is a terrific shot.
And part of this is, and I don't know how he took this. I don't know the setup for it, but part of it is what's back here works too. The steam, the fog coming up off of the water.
And it comes off onto the dark
I don't
color.
know if this is the first time that he came and shot this, or if he went back over and over again. But that's part luck, because you don't always know that you're going to get that.
Right.
But it's what
That
to me it's
atmosphere
what
stuff
helps
looks
make
great.
the photo.
This was probably taken in a museum or something, but I love how black it is and all. I think it's cool. This is a wonderful background for compositing a car on it. Go put a car on it. A lot of these people are shooting backgrounds, but they're not putting a foreground. And this is, I like the silhouette. I think it's very nice. It's very, this is a silhouette. This is a silhouette. It's very nice. Anyway, this guy, I just liked his stuff. I thought, really not much to say. This guy, interesting. All right, check this out. So this is kind of a product shot, right? Looks like a very commercial shot. Almost looks like an ad you could say, you know,
Built
Subaru,
Ford tough.
you know, something. But that's nice. I love the composition. I like the car down low. He's using star brights on the, you know, like F-22 or something. I think it's an interesting shot. I may be a little brighter down here because my eye's drawn up here, but the headlights are helping. So good shot. Look at this. Nicely done product shot. Good rim
Look at
lighting.
the edges.
little
Yeah, I was just gonna say the edges.
Very nice. All right. Another, the bottle's crooked. Right? It's not straight up and down. You can fix that. There's a program that will let you do that. It just needs to be like literally skewed over, but still nice lighting and stuff. And here's where it falls apart. Here's the thing. He lit this guy like he's a product.
Yeah, it's kind of like one light
product
over.
shot. Look, great.
Yeah.
Boom. I can't shoot people.
The light's like overhead. Like
Yeah, it's so the good product photography. I love this shot. I love that you can see the smoke coming off it, and I like this. All the product stuff looks good. It's not. He's not a product. You got to light him, you know, a little more flattering. Just not a very flattering shot. And I know what he's thinking, but the client loved it. Okay, this guy's good. This guy, I love his stuff. Look at this shot. You have the atmosphere, you've got the composition, you don't really have a horizon line. I love the black and white treatment. It's very
isolation,
nice.
yeah, very
Isolation. You go to the next shot.
Color.
I like all of this. I'm not crazy about the branch, especially all this ugly stuff sticking
cool.
in here.
I'd definitely clone this out.
Yeah, I'd get rid of this part. I would probably get rid of some of this stuff too, or at least take it way back and all of this stuff. But it's still nice light. The smoke and atmosphere kind of stuff, the fog is good. Another one where ugly trees are killing the shot, but still pretty good light, nice reflections, a little bit of fog. It's good, it's good. This one's maybe my least favorite, but
Dead tree,
I know, it's my least favorite. And then, look at this. Beautiful. It's the same tree as before. This guy really needs to crop it in. Just get rid of some of that junk on the edges. Like, unfortunately, see, if he this would be beautiful if he got rid of these trees, got rid of those trees, but left this stuff down here, it would make such a beautiful framing, right? Well, you really, you know what I mean? It needs to be like,
work.
yeah, you'd have to do some work. About right there, and then right there. You just need Now you need some cloning to get rid of this. Look how distracting that stuff is. That could be a beautiful pano. But anyway, this guy's good. Really like his stuff. He has got the very, very important thing down, which is grid light. All right. We've got this guy.
Black clouds.
Black clouds. It's,
What's
I don't
a
know.
lighthouse?
Maybe
Okay.
a lighthouse.
Yeah.
It's okay. This is bad. It is messy, bad. Like the other guy had atmosphere and this isn't good.
He's on the right track.
He's on the right
'Cause
track,
You can
though.
see the sunlight up top, so he's shooting at the right time of
Yeah.
day. But
You're on the right track. It's hard to pick what your subject was. Is it this dead tree?
yeah.
Is it ugly weeds? Is it okay? All right. This
Cool.
is great. Great shot. It's not bad.
Can we go back one real quick? So one of the things that up to the jumping water thing, that one. So one of the things that makes that a great shot, it's backlit.
It's backlit and the time of day. It's great light. This is great light. This is not great light. This is just flat. It makes her look one-dimensional.
Yeah.
The light is completely flat, so it's just kind of bad. So, and this one's okay. So let's just, this is what I want. This is what happens in situations like this. Wow.
Nice.
So did he get lucky here and just got a good shot? He needs to get lucky more. He needs to look for because his shot with really great light looks really great. It's got action, it's got great light, it's a great shot. So, but when you only see one, it makes you think like, well, everybody gets lucky. All right, real quick, this guy's good. I like his stuff a lot, except good post-processing. I like the vignetting. I like the close-up of the cowboy. Over here, look at this.
That's cool.
Close-up, looks good, good post-processing. Bad.
Yeah, well, like what happened?
Wait,
what happened?
This
between...
guy's good. This guy's good. Did you hand the camera to somebody else? Next shot.
Cool.
Good lit.
Good post-processing.
post-processing. Did you hand it to now? Look at the separation. Much better here than the other guys. Much better separation. You have an action shot. I mean, the other guy's just winding up for a pitch. How often does that happen in any baseball game? All the time. This guy's about to nail the quarterback. He's about to sack him. Look at the facial
Facing the
expression.
quarterback.
Right? You see everybody's eyes. You see the balls in the shot. A lot of good things going on here, but it's a flat-looking image. It just looks flat. It needs some contrast. It needs some clarity. It needs, if you can crop
Gold blacks.
it, some blacks. I wonder if you can crop it. Let's see if you can crop it in. Oh, not much. Maybe a little. You have to maintain the same aspect ratio, so I'm holding the shift key. That made it a little stronger, right?
Yeah, the preview.
But,
So, yeah.
and the preview, let's switch to here. And the preview, it was just a little flat looking, but not bad, not bad. Good.
Very cool.
Good color, good post-processing, used a high shutter speed, froze some of the water. Look at this one. The guy's hitting a
Water balloon.
water balloon. That's a cool shot with flash.
Darken
So-
the bottom a little there.
Yeah,
but-
darken this. We don't care about this, especially since this is so dark. Make this dark, right?
Graduated filter.
Graduated filter, but even darker. Whoops.
Yep.
Maybe a little bit more even. There you go. That makes it, I think, quite a bit better. All right, next. Okay, next one.
I love that
We got a
photo.
couple. I know, I love it. This guy's got some good stuff. He had some uneven stuff too, but I picked these because I thought they were some of his better stuff. Nothing in there?
I love this work. It's gray. It's moody.
All right. Landscape shot. Didn't even do the basic thing.
No bad light.
Bad light. Bad everything.
Dead stuff
Look,
in front.
More bad light.
And they
more
probably
bad
turned it
everything.
black and white because it was
looked
bad
terrible.
light.
Yeah, this is, you're breaking you're not even doing the single most basic thing for a landscape shot. Now, the one shot that looks pretty good is what? In pretty good light.
Mm-hmm.
If you took it a half an hour later, this would be a tremendously better photo. But with landscape photography, an empty sky, it's good for architectural photography sometimes. It's not good for,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, it's not of a
and this
great
is-
place either.
What is this?
I don't know.
It's nothing. Okay.
Wow.
All right. This guy needs some work. All right. Last couple ones. Look at this. Nice light. Nice composition, really pretty colors. You know what would make this shot so much better? Do you see all these 500 little dots? Get the healing brush, spend a half an hour, and take this shot from a, that's pretty good, to, hey, that's good.
Because the photo's worth it. Because I like that photo.
It's a good photo. It needs that work. This is a nice photo.
And you know what?
It's got some distracting stuff in it, but this is kind of nice.
And I think the tree in the front, the tree kind of hanging in, worked for that one. That's one of the ones where I think it can kind of work.
No, that was. This is nice. Looks like it's probably taken with a at a workshop. Kind of nice. He's dead center.
Yeah, compositionally, you
Dead
might want
center. Yeah. Yeah, because you can recrop that. You can make this a lot stronger just by recropping it. Let's just go and say, put him over here. All right, we got to wrap up. Oh, I see in big letters it's time to wrap up. Hold on, only 2 more. We're gonna go through them super fast. 3 more. All right, so this guy, this is good. Cute baby, nice post-processing. Nice backlit, good pose. JPEG. Not bad, not great, horrendous. What happened?
Yeah. It's just like,
it's bad light, it's a bad pose, it's just, where's the guy that took this shot? Where's the guy that took this shot? Okay, then, so, good shot,
yeah.
Nicely lit, good shallow depth of field, really, really cute kid, nice shot. I could see like a father and having a shot, I'd be very, very pleased with it. And then this, what happened here? This is
the nostrils look like they were darkened.
This person is the most inconsistent shooter of the day because they're capable of making good shots. Look at this one. Look, bad shot. Good. Very nice. Couple of sisters or, friends. And then this, whoa, what happened? So it's just very uneven. It goes back and forth between really good shot to kind of to bad to good to good to bad to good. It's just an uneven shooter needs to just look at their portfolio a little bit because they can shoot. And here, real quickly,
flat,
uninspired, bad. I like this one.
Kind of neat, yeah.
Kind of nice. It's a great subject.
A
very,
different
very
angle.
colorful.
You got a different angle. You don't have the looking up at a balloon.
This was not bad. Nothing.
No.
And here's another guitar player doing nothing special. Not a great facial expression, not a great anything. Just this was a guy playing guitar and I was in the audience. And this is just bad light. All right.
Hey,
last one.
Tom Hogarty from Adobe. Hi, Tom.
Hi,
says,
Tom.
Are you guys using Bridge for this review?
Yeah, I'm
Why
sorry.
We need to do it in Lightroom next time.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, this is brutal. All right, so still life. Nice still life. Looked like it was done in a class or something. Nice still life. Kind of interesting. I like the way the tree's lit.
It stand out.
Not bad. This is kind of interesting. I like the way the petals are falling off. What happened here? So it's just the underside of mushrooms isn't necessarily pretty. I like this.
That's kinda
This
cool.
guy's pretty good though. I like this guy.
Yeah.
He's all right. He's got some juice. And now and this is just an overpass with color. Really, he was doing so well.
And
Look,
then-
good light, something, good light, and then I just didn't care anymore, and I took an ugly tree, dead tree, in bad light. Dead tree in bad light never wins, guys. Thank you so much for watching. We're gonna Nancy, let's do how are we doing our giveaways today?
We're going to do them how we've been doing them lately because that seems to work really well.
Which is?
Which is just like this. Okay, listen carefully. Here are the prizes. Scott's DVD, Crushing the Composition, 1 ticket to Photoshop World, and we have 2 copies of Gnats everywhere.
It was over here too.
Yeah. I'm sorry. 2 copies of Scott's new digital photography book, Part 4. Those are the prizes. In the comment box on the live blog, all in one comment, I need your name, your email, and the prize you want. Don't do them separately because they will get lost. Anyone that is a trusted user, you can't enter, but you already knew that, and that's about it.
Cool. All right, hey guys, real quick, one thing. Because if you're watching this, this is one of the contest prizes, which is Scott's Crush the Composition DVD. If you're watching this, chances are you're not going to win it. But if a lot of the things we talked about today were composition problems, and hats off to Scott because you taught composition in a way that I haven't seen anybody teach it before. In the first 5 minutes, you kind of go over what all composition books and titles do out there, which is the rule of thirds, patterns,
leading lines.
and all those different. He goes over that in
5
5 minutes. The rest of the DVD is spent telling you how to actually like the thing that I thought the best about this whole class was you said, what happens if you get there and there are no leading lines?
Yeah.
I mean, because that can happen.
You're like, oh, now what do I do?
So anyway, so it's on Kelby Training, but we also have the DVD.
Yeah, so if you're a
well,
Kelby Training subscriber, you can go watch it right now.
Yeah.
All right, well, thanks, everybody. Thanks to MPix for sponsoring the show. Brad, thank you for helping out here. Pete, as well. Kathy Porevsky, our studio audience. Meredith, our floor director. Thank you very much. Nancy Massey, all the way from France. Or her office.
Eye candy.
Matt, the eye candy. And thanks for everybody that submitted stuff. And I don't think that you sent in these images for us to just go, man, you're awesome. No. And I hope that you took that in the spirit that it was delivered today. But what I really want you to do is we're going to do this again next month. Go look at other photographers' work that you admire. If you're into people, go look at Joe McNally's shots of people. If you're into composites, go look at
Dean Bradshaw, Joel Grimes.
Joel Grimes, that's what I was thinking of. Dean Bradshaw, who's on my blog today. Zach Arias has done a number of critiques that also are great. Go to zacharias.com/blog. But really, look at your own stuff and go, why isn't it like the way I want to do it? And then go look at the people who are doing it the way you want to do it, and then see what they're doing. Because, like I look at great sports photographers, I see what they're, and I try to analyze, what did they do? What are they doing? How are they, and in all of photography, there is luck. And things happen, light happens, all kinds of things. There is a lot of luck, but you can surely increase your chances of luck by being prepared and kind of knowing what you're looking for.
And the other thing I was going to say is have people look at your work. Have somebody, in between now and next month, give it to your wife, give it to your husband, give it to your brother, sister, whoever it is. Have other people look at your work. It's very, very difficult to do, but it's a very, very powerful thing to do for your body of work, because if you can just sit back and not say a word, and that's the key. Because let me tell you this: if you give it to a family member, if you give it to a family member and you say, "Give me an honest opinion," and they give you an honest opinion, you say, "But no, that." It's not going to work that way, and they're never going to want to do it again. Right. So just sit back, shut up, give it to somebody else, and let them critique.
One last thing I'll put a spin on his, which is if you give it to regular folks, your family and friends, they are going to look at it one way. If you give it to photographers whose opinion you trust, they're going to give you a very different one. Mm-hmm. Like, in other words, if I show that picture to my daughter of the cat, she will love it. If I show that to Brad, he will vomit a little in his mouth. So there's a tremendous difference between the two. Hey, you can follow Matt and I on Facebook, Twitter, and G+. On Facebook, facebook.com/skelby. On Twitter, I'm Scott Kelby. And on Google+, I'm Scott G+. G.com.
And I am MattG+.com. Matt Kloskowski on Google. Matt Kloskowski on Twitter, and the Photoshop guy on Facebook.
Take care, everybody. We'll see you in 3 weeks. We're off for the next 2 weeks, so we'll see you in 3 weeks. Right here on the grid. Take care, everybody.
See ya.
This week's episode of The Grid is sponsored by MPix. Shoot today, upload tonight, we ship tomorrow. Manfrotto. Imagine more. On One Software that gets you back to shooting.
Adorama, more than a camera store. And Tiffin, helping create the world's greatest images.